Hey everyone, Dale here with Pacific Sun Technologies. I got an exciting video to go over with you today that has to do with AC and DC charging in the future of electric vehicles. Now, it's projected that by 2030, California's roads will be home to approximately 1.4 million electric vehicles. Now, in previous discussions about the future of our electric grid, my focus may have been slightly misplaced. The crux of the matter isn't just about the grid itself, but rather about how we plan to integrate the charging of these vehicles into it. This is crucial not only for the sustainability of the grid, but also for the convenience and efficiency for EV owners. When it comes to charging electric vehicles, there are primarily two methods: AC, alternating current, and DC, direct current charging. Each of these methods has its own set of advantages and drawbacks, and understanding these is key to making an informed decision about our future infrastructure. Let's delve into the pros and cons of AC and DC charging. We'll explore how each method impacts the electric grid and what that means for us as current and future EV owners in terms of accessibility, cost, and overall efficiency. This conversation is vital. It's literally going to shape not only the present, but also the roadmap of our electric vehicle future. Of course, if you're someone that lives in our area, Southern California, and you own an electric vehicle and you don't have an AC charger for it, level 2 specifically, be sure to use the link down in the description below so you can request a hassle-free quote. We have the Wallbox EV charger, and we have Enphase's new IQ EV charger, which integrates with Enphase systems. So go ahead, use the link down in the description below to request your quote and learn more about these chargers. Starting off with AC, alternating current charging. It's the most commonly used method for electric vehicles, especially in homes and workplace settings. But how exactly does it work? Well, essentially, AC charging involves using the standard electrical current supplied to our homes and offices. Current is typically at a lower voltage, 120, 240, heck, even 208 volts, which the onboard charger of the electric vehicle then converts into DC. This is direct current to store in the vehicle's batteries. All batteries, whether they're for your home or an electric vehicle, are DC. This method of charging is widely adopted for several reasons. First, it's compatible with existing electrical infrastructures, makes it highly accessible. Yes, it's really easy. Additionally, AC charging is generally slower compared to DC charging. It's actually beneficial for overnight charging or during work hours. The slower charging process is less taxing on the vehicle's battery, which can actually help extend its overall lifespan. For the typical EV owner, this means you can conveniently charge your vehicle overnight at home or while it's parked during your workday. I mean, what are you doing besides working? This ensures it's always ready for use with full charge. AC charge stations also tend to be less expensive than their DC counterparts, both in terms of installation and maintenance, making them a very practical choice for everyday use. Now, moving on to the DC charging, it represents a different approach to empowering electric vehicles, primarily used in commercial and public charging stations. The key distinction of DC charging lies in its ability to deliver power directly to an electric vehicle's battery, because you're going DC to DC without the need of that onboard conversion. This bypasses the vehicle's onboard charger, allowing for much faster charging speeds. DC charging stations are typically found along highways, in commercial parking lots, and at dedicated EV charging centers. I have them at our grocery centers in our local neighborhood. They're especially designed to offer rapid charging, making them ideal for long distance travelers who need a quick boost to their vehicle's battery. This is achieved through high power output, often ranging from 50 kilowatts to 350 kilowatts or more. Now, that seems like a lot, and it is a lot, which can significantly shorten the charging times compared to AC chargers, which tend to cap at around 19 kilowatts. For example, Some DC chargers can provide up to 80% charge in just under 30 minutes, depending on the vehicle's capabilities and the charger's power output. Let's extend on that. Some of the vehicles can't take 350 kilowatts continuously. It might be throttled to, say, 160 or 200 kilowatts of DC power, even though the charger can provide more. However, this convenience and speed come with certain trade-offs. The primary consideration is the cost. DC charging stations are way more complex and a lot more expensive to install and maintain compared to AC stations. This is due to the higher power requirements and the need for specialized equipment capable of safely managing such high energy transfer rates. What you may not realize when you're at a DC charge station, yes, you're in front of a charger, but there actually might be some stuff that's closed off that you're not really paying attention to, and it's going to be an inverter and a large battery bank. Yes, the inverter is converting grid power into DC current and storing it locally on the site in the battery, which then goes through the charger into your vehicle. Another point to consider is the impact on the vehicle's battery. While occasional fast charging is typically fine, frequent use of DC fast charging can actually lead to a quicker degradation of the battery's lifespan. This is because of the rapid charging generates more heat, which can be stressful for the battery over time, and it also constrains the cells on a molecular level. Despite these drawbacks, the role of DC charging in the EV ecosystem is crucial. They provide essential support for EV drivers on long trips, ensuring that electric vehicles can be practical options for all kinds of travels, not just short local trips. Now, as battery technology advances with our grid infrastructure improvements that we're looking to implement here in California, the efficiency and accessibility of DC chargers are expected to increase, making it an increasingly vital component of the electric vehicle future. As we look forward into the future, increasing reliant on electric vehicles, understanding the new nuances of AC and DC charging becomes pivotal. Both charging types present clear advantages and disadvantages, shaping their roles in this evolving landscape of electric mobility. Now, AC charger advantages are pretty straightforward with my considerations. Widespread and easy to install. AC charging stations are often compatible with existing electrical infrastructure, making them easy to install in homes, in workplaces, and such. They're also cost effective. They're generally more affordable in terms of both installation and maintenance. They're also gentler on the batteries. The slower charging process is less stressful on the EV batteries, which will potentially prolong their lifespan, which is something we want to see. Now, there are AC charging disadvantages. It's slower charging speeds. That's very apparent. AC chargers are typically take longer to fully charge an EV, which may not be ideal for those of us needing a quick top up before heading on our journey. Now, they also have limited power delivery. They usually offer lower power levels, making them less suitable for rapid charging requirements. And depending on where you're charging with your AC charger, they might be piggybacked off of each other and running in parallel or in series together. So if that's occurring, maybe you have a charger that you're plugged into that's rated at 19.2, but if 3 or more vehicles are also plugged in, it's going to derate that charger and maybe you only get 3, 4, 5 kilowatts instead. Now, DC charging advantages are pretty clear as well. Fast charging capabilities. I mean, everybody wants to have their car fully topped up as fast as possible. Higher power output. They are capable of delivering higher power, catering to modern EVs with larger batteries. As we start to get electric trucks on the road, whether it's for fleets or commercial use or just general consumer purposes, those batteries on those electric trucks are going to be massive compared to their vehicle counterparts like small compact cars. DC charging advantages may not be as apparent. They have higher installation costs and maintenance costs, something most EV owners don't realize. There's also potential strain on the batteries. There isn't a lot of data regarding this, but it is pretty clear that frequent use of fast charging can accelerate a battery's degradation due to increased heat in generation. Now, let's consider the practical applications of AC and DC charging in a real-world scenario. Now, this comparative analysis will help us understand where each type of charging is most advantageous and underline the necessity of a diversified charging infrastructure. I'm not saying one is better than the other. We're ultimately going to need both in the future. See, AC charging is ideal for daily use. AC charging is particularly well suited for everyday scenario, like charging at home overnight or charging at the workplace during the day. If you don't have to stop at a DC charge station because you can charge at home and you can charge at work and you can charge at a restaurant, you can charge wherever you go just to continuously trickle charge, then you always have a full tank of gas. It doesn't matter that it's a slower charging speed because it aligns perfectly with these situations where you're there for 1, 2, 3 or more hours and the car's just parked for extended periods doing absolutely nothing besides charging and maintaining a higher level. It's the go-to option for routine, cost-effective charging, helping EV owners maintain their vehicle's batteries in good health over the long term. Now, DC charging is essential for long distance travel. We can't forego it. It is crucial that we incorporate DC charging because it comes into its own during long distance travels or when quick charging is imperative. I made that trip to Las Vegas in my electric vehicle, and we had to stop at DC charge stations so that way we could get all the way there, just like you would in a combustible gas engine where you're going to stop to refuel. It's a game changer for road trips, enabling EV drivers to recharge their batteries rapidly at highway rest stops or dedicated charging stations, especially on long trips where you want to stop and get out and stretch a little bit. It also serves as a vital resource in emergency situations or for city dwellers who might not have access to overnight AC charging facilities like multifamily units. How are we going to adopt electric vehicles for a greater mass if we don't have DC charge stations available for those types of facilities that AC chargers won't be at? The importance of a balanced infrastructure is the future of EV charging isn't about choosing between AC and DC charging. It's about creating a balanced infrastructure ultimately that incorporates both. You got to have both. Having a mix of AC and DC charging stations available centers throughout a full spectrum of EV owners is needed, from the daily commuter to the long-haul traveler, because we've all been there. A diverse charging infrastructure also helps manage grid loads more effectively with AC chargers, providing a steady, predictable demand, and DC chargers handling peak loads efficiently, right? Those loads aren't going to the grid because they're constantly recharging the batteries on site. Also, California is working towards making sure that we can do vehicle to grid charging, so you would be able to have your vehicle parked at work, and if the grid needed an influx of power, they would stop charging the car and instead the vehicle would discharge to the car. This is a back and forth system that ultimately, this balanced approach not only enhances an EV owner's experience, but also supports the broader goals of sustainability and environmental responsibilities in our transition to an electrified America. As we continue to embrace electric vehicles, as myself owning one, I definitely would recommend you giving one a try. Understand and implementing a mix of AC and DC charging solutions will be a key to greater adoption over the next couple years. This approach ensures that we meet the diverse needs of all EV owners while paving the way for a more sustainable and efficient future in electric transportation. Well, that's it. That's all I got for this week's video. Be sure to subscribe to the channel. And if you really like this video, give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends and family. I'm a huge advocate for clean, renewable energy in the state of California and throughout the United States of America. I want to see, and I'd love to be a part of your transition to clean renewable energy. So go ahead, use the link down in the description below to request a quote from us to switch to clean renewable energy via solar with a home battery backup system, or get a level 2 EV charger installed at your home. So thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.